Hey everybody, what are you at? Green Newfie channel here. Yeah, I'm still alive. Sorry, it's been a little while. Still battling a few health challenges on my own, and it's been crazy busy. It's that time of year. The greenhouse is full to capacity. I've just transplanted 100-odd tomato plants, and we've got everything growing, and it's, busy. So I made no promises. I made no promises that I would be on here talking all day long. Nobody wants to hear my ugly voice mug anyway. But I've just been getting inundated with people calling and emailing going, when are you doing your next video? When are you doing your next video? So I figured I'd take a few minutes, and I have absolutely no set agenda here whatsoever. But the one thing that I would probably say I get asked the most about, and I don't know if people are just checking to see am I insane or not, but is fasting. And what is it, and why do I do it, and why should anyone do it? And it's a very, very good question. At the end of the day, everybody should fast regularly. I could really probably do 10 hours of discussion on the various benefits of fasting, the various types of fasting, and what it's good for, and who should do it and why. But fasting is really the way that we're meant to eat. The body, human beings, if you buy into the, back in the caveman days, the old, paleo stuff, you would go out and you would hunt a buffalo or a whatever, and you'd eat. And then you got all big and fat and happy, and you had the energy to go for a week or two. And then you would have to go out again and hunt for your next buffalo or whatever the heck it is cavemen eat back in the day. And then you would eat, and so on and so on and so on. That's really how we're meant to eat. We're not supposed to be eating 3 or 4 times a day, or in some cases 6 or 7 times a day. Because you get all the sugar and then all this insulin stuff and all the highs and lows and all that. It's not the way we're meant to eat. I fast all the time. It might be even on a daily basis. And then every quarter I will do at least a week to 2 weeks. The most I've actually, the most I've actually pushed it out is a 20-day. I did a 20-day water fast one time. And of course, when you start talking about fasting and water fasting, people think you're nuts. But you're not. It's really the way you're meant to be. Now, the obvious reason, or not the obvious reason, but the obvious side effect or benefit of the whole thing is weight loss. You don't eat, you don't get fat. It's that simple. If you have body fat on you and you want to get rid of it, that's a perfect way to do it. Now, have I ever in my life fasted for body fat purposes? No, I don't care about that stuff at all. Weight is something that is not an issue for me. I don't really give a crap how big or fat. Sometimes I eat a lot and I get a little heavier, and then other times I'm running around like a toothpick. So, weight loss is not a reason why I would do it. And to be honest, it's not a reason why I would tell anybody to do it. Because if you're used to eating a certain way, stopping eating a certain way, you will drop the weight. There's no question. So how it works, basically, and this is a very long conversation, and the various intricacies of fasting is a very long conversation as well. And if anybody has any interest, by all means, post and say, and I can do a video on intermittent fasting. I can do a video on long-term fasting, and people can certainly try it. The beautiful thing about fasting is that we all can do it, everybody, and it costs $0. Just don't eat. Now you have to be careful as you get into a fast. Even if you take a break, you skip a meal, technically that's fasting. There's another diet, I think it's called the OMAD diet or something, and that's you only eat 1 time a day. And you can literally eat pretty much as you want 1 time a day, And that has a remarkable effect on the body as well. But a lot of people go, well, how in the heck do I manage to get through breakfast or lunch or without my coffee or all that kind of stuff? But point in fact, we've already had this discussion on coffee already. Y'all know I'm not a fan. But technically, coffee is something that you can actually do on a fast because it has no calories. So you can actually drink certain types of herbal teas and coffee, if that's your bag, on a fast. But you'll find as you start to fast, you won't want it because your body moves from a sugar burn to a fat burn. So I don't know if anybody's heard about the ketogenic diet, which is the rave now. Everybody in the world is doing keto. And it is a very good diet. You'll lose more weight than you can imagine. I just finished a fast that I pushed out for a week. And I think I lost I don't remember exactly, it was like 13 or 14 pounds. So what basically happens is that when you're eating regularly, the body is breaking down everything in terms of sugar. And it shoves all the glucose in your liver. And that's your immediate source for energy. If you start to run, burns off glucose, breaks it down, there's your energy. Now, when you stop eating or you go on a ketogenic diet. So ketogenic diet is basically no sugars of any kind and no carbohydrates, or a very, very small sliver of carbohydrates. When I do a keto diet, I won't have any carbs at all. So it's 70% fat and the rest basically protein. But what you're doing is you're completely depleting your liver of glucose. So there's no sugar left at all. Now, everybody says you'll die. Well, no, that's silly. There was a very good quote, and I can't remember who said it, but I think it's a fabulous quote. And it was something like you can go 4 months without food, and you can go 4 days without water, and you can go 4 minutes without oxygen, but you can only go 4 seconds without hope. I always thought that was very appropriate. And it's so true. It's absolutely true. But anyway, when you stop eating the sugar, people, the whole point of that saying is it's not technically true. You can go a whole lot more than 4 months without eating food. The longest water-only fast that's ever been recorded was 387 days. I'm pretty sure it was 3. It was well over 3. It was well over a year. And the person lost something like 200 and something pounds, but everything was fine. So what happens is that when you burn the sugar, it's a very dirty burn to your body. And people have so many problems with eating different types of foods, and there's the whole gluten and grain thing. And look at if you have a dog, right? When your dog gets sick, what does it do? It lies down, it doesn't eat anything. Maybe it has a bit of water or eat some grass or something like that, right? For the chlorophyll. Or a cat, same thing, right? They rest the body from eating because it's all inflammatory. So when you stop eating and you stop getting the sugars, the very first thing the body does is it continues to burn through the glucose to power your every move, every need. Now, back in the caveman days, what would happen if that were the case, that you needed to have sugar to go get that next buffalo or whatever you're eating? You wouldn't be able to do it. You'd just die. So the body actually has a backup system that it goes to when you've depleted your sugar. And I'm just going to pause it here now because I have a feeling my phone's going to ring or something. So I'm going to just stop this so it doesn't kill the whole thing. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Okay, so anyway, back again. So you're now you have no sugar in your system. So the body goes on to what happens? If you're going to get that buffalo, you need to have that sugar for the burst of energy. So what happens is the body says, I'm out of sugar now. I'm out of glucose. And what happens is it switches over into a fat burn. So once your body starts burning fat, then we all have enough fat on us, no matter how big or fat or skinny or whatever we are, that we have enough fat to power our body for months at a time. So the fat burn is a whole lot clearer, it's cleaner, and you have a lot more energy. But the phase that it takes you from getting from the sugar burning stage to the fat burning stage, it can be problematic. There's what's called the keto flu, where the brain starts saying, hey, dumbass, you haven't eaten in 6 hours, or you haven't eaten in 12 hours, or however many hours. I'm going to throw a little tantrum to make you eat. So it's going to give you a headache. It's going to make your stomach growl. It's going to give you pain and aches and make you miserable. But after a day or so of that, the brain says, wow, he's not or she's not listening to me. So this obviously isn't working. Let's switch over to plan B, which is let's start burning fat. So once you start burning fat, the fat just starts falling off you. You just go into this Om mode where you have mental clarity, you have energy up the wazoo, because you now have an unlimited source of energy. So this is the way the body is meant to run. Now, this is all wonderful in terms of fat loss, but it is not the reason that I do it. The reason that I do it is that it's on a cellular level. If you are facing any sort of health challenge, a big one is cancer. If you're on chemo for cancer, it just completely, the collateral damage that it does to your immune system is just brutal. So one thing that you can do, if you're on any kind of chemotherapy, or you have any kind of real health challenge that you're looking to try to get around, fasting after a day or so, what happens is that all your white blood cells, which are scavenging your blood, protecting your blood, and clearing out all the crap, any damaged white blood cells will start to die off. And I have a dark field microscope here in my house, and I look at my own blood all the time. And I can actually see, as I start to get into the fast and I start to get into ketosis, that the number of white blood cells that I have starts to disappear. And that's because the body will schlep through them if they're damaged or not in the best of shape. And then after you go back and reintroduce the food again, the stem cells just start regenerating white blood cells. And they say that after 3 days, you completely reset your immune system. Now, we all need to be doing that monthly, in my mind, because you want to have your blood at peak performance all the time. I'll push it out to a 2-week fast a couple times a year just to really deplete everything. There's 2 types of fasting. You can do a wet fast and a dry fast. A dry fast, obviously, is much better for weight loss, and it's more effective. It's just a fast where you just don't drink water at all. But again, a dry fast, I wouldn't do that until you really test the water out with a normal fast first. There's a very good book by another Canadian, Dr. Jason Fung, his name is. He's up in Toronto. And he is very likely the world's authority on fasting. If you do a YouTube video on Jason Fung and fasting, you'll just see every kind of video and every kind of interview. He's the man. He didn't invent it, but he certainly has perfected it. And he's got a book called The Ultimate Guide to Fasting. It's my Bible. It'll basically walk you through every different type of fast that you can do and the results of it and some of the challenges that come from it. So I think it's very good to do if you've got a health challenge, but it's even more important to do if you don't. Because if you don't have a health challenge, it will regularly keep your blood and immune system at the strongest levels that it can be. And that means you're not going to be getting colds. You're not going to be getting any major dis-ease, because your blood is going to be as healthy as it can be from your stem cells, perpetually regenerating white blood cells to keep your blood healthy. Your blood's healthy, your organs are healthy, your body's healthy. So it sounds crazy, and it sounds all purple and hippie and all this stuff. Oh, I'm doing a water fast. Yeah. No, it's actually very scientific. There's been more studies. University of Southern California is the fasting gurus. If you type in USC and fasting, you can read all the reports. They've done it all on animals and mice and humans. And it is a known fact that your immune system will reset after 3 days. So at a minimum, I'm probably always going to do a 3-day fast. If anybody's really interested or they care about fasting, I would just get Jason Fung's book and read it. It's absolutely fantastic. Or there's a gazillion videos on YouTube on different types of fasting. But there's another guy out of Michigan, and I think his name is Dr. Darren Schmidt. Schmidt, I would say. He's in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And he's one of the gurus on ketosis. So what you can do is you can put your body into ketosis by just eating ketogenic foods and cutting out all the sugars and the carbohydrates. Now that way, technically, you're kind of fasting and getting into ketosis without stopping eating. You know, you can eat a lot of different oils and different proteins and all that stuff. And your body will go into ketosis and it'll start burning fat. That's all great. And a lot of people are living their lives like that now. You know, I think there's pros and cons to it. You know, like the whole Atkins diet, I think, was suicide because there's no way you can be healthy long term if you just eat bacon and steak for a living. But the ketogenic diet, you can do it semi-healthfully with a lot of the fats and whatnot and see what happens. But in terms of fasting, Dr. Schmidt talks about going into what he calls a mock keto diet. And a mock keto diet a mock fast. I can't remember if it was mock fast or mock, it was one of them anyway. But you're basically, before you start the fast, you can kind of trick your body into thinking it has the nutrients that it needs, whereas you're just still not eating. So he says get up in the morning and have some green. Remember the video we did on green powders? You know, very low carbohydrates, very low calories and all that stuff, but still a lot of nutrients in it. Unbelievably nutrient dense. So have a shot of green powder in the morning and maybe a half an avocado. And the avocado's got the healthy fats. And then in the evening, do the same thing, green juice and an avocado. And then after a day or two of doing that, your body's still thinking, oh, I've got lots of nutrients. I've got no reason to go into keto flu and give you headaches and stomach pains and all that kind of stuff. And then after probably day 2 of that, then you can let go of the food altogether and the greens and just go on a water diet. Because by then, the body is burning fat and not sugar. And then really once you get into ketosis, you can fast as long as you want. The times that I've pushed out fasts to 20 days or 2 weeks, I have had zero hunger the entire time. I still cook every night. I sit down at the table with the family and we have dinner and all that kind of stuff. And, do I want to have food? Oh, hell yeah, of course. But is my body telling me I need to have it? No, not at all. My body's tickled pink. It's schlepping off all the dead, blood cells that I need to get rid of to reset my immune system. It's burning fat, so I've got energy and I'm doing fine from an energy perspective. Point in fact, a lot of marathon runners and long distance, running athletes and stuff will put themselves into ketosis before races almost every time because it's a cleaner burn and it's an unlimited burn. So they can run 100 miles if they wanted to, burning fat over the short period of time that you're going to have burning sugar. So it's a very, very good thing to do. So that was my little chat for the day. I think everybody should fast regularly. Everybody. Monthly, do a 3-day. It's great. You don't have, there's no planning, there's no meal planning. You just stop eating. So until like for me, I can turn it off like a tap. Like I could stop eating now and I could just not eat for 2 weeks and it wouldn't even faze me. I mean, I would miss the feel of, actually eating food, but I don't get keto flu anymore. And, I've done it so many times, but people that are not used to doing it can really have a hard time with the keto flu. So, if you read Jason Fung's book, it'll tell you how to basically get in and out of it without, having too many problems. And it'll tell you what to drink. As long as you keep your fluid levels high and you can have tea and all this kind of stuff. Just nothing with carbohydrates and sugars and all that kind of stuff. But for what it does to your body is nothing short of miraculous. When you do it once or twice and you actually see the difference and you see the energy levels that you have and your health starts to turn around and, things just start working, you'll be hooked. You'll do it for the rest of your life. So that's basically it. I can do another video on the different types of fasting, and I can, intermittent fasting and once daily fasting for eating once a day. But give it a try. Post your results. Tell a friend. It has a wonderful effect on the body. It's ultimately the way we're meant to eat. The book, again, is by Dr. Jason Fung. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Fasting. And I think I do it regularly, and I think that if everybody did it at least once a month for a few days for no other reason than resetting of the immune system, you'll find that health just goes right through the roof. So anyway, there you go. I promise it won't be so long next time. Long may your big jib job. Remember, it's going to draw a whole lot further if you feed it right. See you, everybody.